Allez, bonjour. Donc aujourd'hui, on va reprendre Vampyr. Alors, on avait... Qu'est-ce qu'on avait fait samedi? Ça remonte à samedi. Donc, ma mémoire est à rude épreuve. Oui, donc on avait cru que le vieil Ariette s'était fait massacrer. Et puis finalement, non, on l'a retrouvé. Et c'était grâce à Chaîne, qui est celui qu'on appelle le Triste Saint. Et donc maintenant, on doit aller retourner le voir. Par contre, ouais, j'avais fait tout ce qui était établi, tout ça machin, donc on peut y aller. Hop là. Alors par où je pourrais passer? Parce qu'elle m'avait dit qu'elle avait fermé. Alors là, c'est là où il y a la vieille. On va la laisser. Apparemment, elle m'avait ouvert un raccourci.
It's locked.
Alors là, il y avait le mec pour la quête secondaire.
It's locked, all right.
Alright. On va aller voir là-bas. Ok, c'est par là.
It's locked, all right.
Charmant. Il est où, Sean?
Welcome back, Dr. Reed.
Bon appétit.
Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reed, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
Alors déjà, j'espère qu'elle a la bonne cuisson, sa viande.
This shelter is the tip of the iceberg. You hide your game well, I'll give you that.
We are God's children, Dr. Reed, one and all, and he's determined to save us.
What will be the result if you continue to assist both Skulls and the living?
Well, for the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure of heart shall prevail.
You've turned Skull now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
Does this place belong to you? How can you be so certain you can keep it open?
This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
Harriet, Miss Jones has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks of her past, but I know she has a long one. She's likely the oldest soul in the city.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Skulls, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
C'est tellement stylé ce genre de bougie.
Blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of his divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I haven't the luxury of being able to satisfy my hunger on staunched blood and lifeless flesh.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges. You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
Mange, prie et aime. Vous sacrifiez 500 points d'expérience. Oh merde. Étreinte. Bon, j'ai dit que je ne tuerai personne. Voilà. Alors, quand on réfléchit bien. Alors, certes, ils mangent des cadavres, mais c'est des cadavres de mort. Enfin, ils mangent des corps, parce que oui, un cadavre, c'est quelqu'un de mort. Donc, des corps morts. Toujours mieux que des vivants. Ça me fait chier de sacrifier 100 points d'XP. Puis pareil, transformer, mais en quoi? Bon écoute, je vais le faire une fois, parce que peut-être que le jeu va me le proposer plusieurs fois. Je vais le faire une fois, voir ce que ça donne.
My discoveries. Vampire blood would enhance your metabolism, perhaps even heal you. If what old Bridget says is true, I'll give you some of mine.
I'd rather not. It would be extremely awkward.
You have no choice, Sean. It's the only way to protect your chapel. Those still amongst the living.
No. Dr. Reed, God made me this way. Who am I to disobey his will?
You believe that God's plan was for you to be abandoned at birth?
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I can't imagine God intended for you to be molested by a priest in an orphanage. Drink, friend.
No.
I said kneel and drink. Now.
Ce quartier subira bientôt les conséquences de votre geste. Ok. Alors du coup, fais voir mon XP. Parce que j'ai pas changé de niveau. Donc est-ce que c'était l'XP moins 45? Oh bah ça va. Ça va, ça va. J'ai pas perdu tant que ça. Bon. Du coup...
Another
Et
corpse
merde.
thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game.
Est-ce que quelqu'un est malade et a besoin de remède? Non.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
Je sais pas, il y a un corps là juste devant toi.
You've never faced, let alone killed a vampire Ichabod. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not. I may embellish the truth concerning my achievements, but I'm totally dedicated to my quest.
Stop fooling yourself. You've never faced a vampire before. You wouldn't stand a chance.
Well, that's not true, sir. I've already faced one of these creatures.
Oh, really? And you're still alive.
Oh, we did not actually fight. I let it go.
What do you mean?
I entered the vampire's den. The stench was terrible. I was ready to kill it. But then I saw it. Just a suffering soul like you and me. I spared her.
Connerie.
Tell me about the vampire you spared.
It was... She was a girl. Her body was a mess. I could see pus running from the deep wound. She was crying in pain.
You cared about her. That's what defines us as human, Ichabod.
Yes, but she was a truly evil creature. I'm haunted by the tragedies she caused ever since I spared her.
Did you see what happened to him?
Actually, yes. He was thrown from the roof like a vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the ground. The strength required to do such a thing, well, it beggars belief.
Who could have done that?
Who? Well, a vampire, of course. Look, bite marks on the neck and lacerations here. There is definitely a vampire close by.
Goodbye.
Ok, on va demander aux filles avant, savoir ce qu'elles vont trouver.
You again? What do you want?
Giselle, I know you sleep at Shaunhampton's shelter. What can you tell me about him?
He provided a roof for me and my sister. I am grateful, of course. But He gives me the creeps.
Why is that?
He's always sad. Like he's about to cry. He's always asking us to get closer to God. To give ourselves to the Lord. Creepy.
Did you see what just happened?
No, I didn't. And I don't care.
Really? Why is that?
Because this sexist pig is one of the 4 men who blacklisted me. Good riddance, if you ask me.
Well, I'll leave you for...
Toujours un plaisir.
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
Did you see what happened?
No. I was coming back to the shelter from work when I heard an awful scream, and there was this man, dead, just in front of the building.
You saw nothing at all?
No, I told you, just that awful woman's scream.
A woman scream? Are you sure?
Of course. It was terrifying. I thought it was my sister, so I ran. But it was a man I've never seen round here before.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father.
Ah merde, qu'est-ce qu'il faut avec ça?
29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
Eh ben allons-y. Alors... Je dois aller là et je suis là. Non, c'est de l'autre côté. Est-ce que je peux passer par là? Ouais, parfait. Un nouveau refuge, cool. Morceau de poignée commun, plaque de plomb. Sérum, ah oui j'avais déjà tout créé là aussi, alors là je peux en faire. Alors pour les armes, vite fait que je dois me souvenir. Ah oui c'est des trucs, morceaux de qualité.
I cannot enter.
Bonne direction moi. Ah, je sais pas si je peux passer par là, je vais essayer. Oh, putain, niveau 20. eux, ils peuvent vraiment être emmerdants. Non. Ok, c'est tout droit. Finsbury Gate.
"29 Pretty Orchard Street. This is it. What's in there for me?" There's been a fight here. This window was shattered with violent force. Someone's been pulled through it and dragged through the street. Who could have done that?
Je récupère tout.
Last warning, sir! Filthy piece of shit!
Ah. Tiens, bouffe. Parce que alors, eux, ils peuvent faire mal.
only a golden watch in her pockets. Her shoes and clothes are quite worn out. The marks on this woman's neck were made by the fangs of a vampire. This is the very flower my mother tossed on Mary's coffin. Someone is targeting my family.
I see you.
Right then. It's a sick game. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well win it. I have this thirst for blood.
Jonathan.
What was that? I won't let you escape. You're very fast, but I'll catch you. They've all been butchered.
Alors, est-ce que ce serait ma
I can
créatrice?
still sense a presence. I can't believe I'm doing this. Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the bodies, I wonder? This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail. It's locked.
Bon, écoute, on peut faire ça vite fait.
As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word.
merde, il y en a d'autres qui vont rappliquer. Voilà, on l'a lu. Je pense qu'il va falloir que je reparle au père Whittaker. Et je crois qu'il est pas loin du cimetière.
Come to me.
Help me! God help! Please help me! You! What have you done?
Vicar Larrabee, what happened?
Demon! Hell scourge! Son of perdition!
Vicar! Jonathan's no demon. He's just a soul. Returned from the dead. Like your Christ, Vicar.
Mary, is it really you?
Oh, it's me, all right. Precious brother.
Ah,
Doing here?
ok.
I'm gathering the family for a final reunion. All smiling, all dead. Thanks to the good Dr. Reed.
Mary,
Mother, say hello to your son.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mother,
What do we have here, Mother? The prodigal son has lost his tongue. Our Jonathan always had the first and last word at dinner. The entertainer, the star of our show.
I'm sorry. Let me explain.
Shut up. It's my turn to do the talking. I have this nasty hole in my chest, Johnny. It needs to breathe.
Of course. You can speak.
My prayers went so long without an answer. My husband, killed in France. My child, carried away by the flu. My brother promising to return in his letters, then disappearing in thin air. I went from hospital to hospital. Cemetery to cemetery. Grave to grave. I've lifted every stone in London, searching for an end to the nightmare. And there you were. In front of me. On a dark pier.
The hunger had taken me.
The joy to have finally found you. I longed for your arms, a final happy ending to so much tragedy, to tell me all would be well again, as you did when we were children. It was this filthy dock where you greeted your sister. I dug a tunnel from my grave with my fingers and teeth.
Mary, I thought I had murdered you. I tried to end myself. We've been through the same horror.
We are a disease, Jonathan. A sickness that corrupts all it touches. All we kiss, and all we kill. Look at me. Admire your ilk.
I'm so sorry.
Apologies will not suffice. I demand reparation. I want a miracle. Are you a miracle worker, Dr. Reed? No? I'll show you mine then. The family Reed, reunited and complete, living forever in a red sea of eternal love. Time to go, Mother. Say hello to my son for
Mary,
me.
wait. I have made friends with vital knowledge. Vampires. We are not alone, Mary. With time, we can learn to live almost as we lived before.
How long?
What?
How long will this masquerade continue? I've been watching you. All these nights in Whitechapel pretending you're still a doctor. You believe you're just fighting a disease. But it's you, the disease. Jonathan, you!
I'm a scientist. I'll find a solution. Let our mother go, please.
You're always the one to sway me to reason, Jonathan. But before, your motivations were always pure. Now you're tainted.
Let her go! She has no part to play in this.
Very well. Have you heard our good doctor? You can go home, Mother. Go home and rest in peace.
Yes, I'll go home and rest.
It's so easy to make them obey or forget. Puppets for our pleasure. I've seen you have your fun.
You are mad.
Oh, so that's what I am, Doctor. Mad. I was beginning to wonder. I've been hearing these voices in my head. One in particular, that of my dead brother. This is the reason I must kill you. Not for your betrayal. Not for our poisonous kiss. Not even for the lies you tell yourself. No. It's so that smooth and wicked voice will stop ringing in my ear.
Mary. No, don't!
Time to die, brother. And this time for good.
Ok. Oh putain, la vache fait mal.
Come to me, Jonathan.
Ok, d'accord.
Rest in peace, monster. Kiss me again, sweet brother. peace, monster.
Je sais pas si son attaque là des plantes ça peut lui faire des dégâts, ça m'étonnerait.
Come to me, Jonathan.
Ah non, ça lui fait pas de dégâts.
You've spared the precious nurse Crane, but not your own Mary. Kiss me again, sweet brother. Give me your blood, priest. Final thoughts are just to die for. What have you done?
Wesh. Ah ouais, en plus ça... Ok, d'accord.
Rest in peace, monster. Come to me, Jonathan. Kiss me again, sweet brother. What have you done? Rest in peace, monster.
Bon, elle est presque midlife.
Kiss me again, sweet brother. What have you done? Come to me, Jonathan. Kiss me again, sweet brother. What have you done? I'll make you kneel like a dog, just as you did to Sean Hampton. Rest in peace, master. What have you done? Rest in peace, master. again, sweet brother.
Putain, mais... J'ai à peine même pas le temps de lancer une attaque.
Come to me, Jonathan. Rest in peace, monster.
Yes!
Well, brother. It's time to bring this conversation to an end. Forever.
You know I will not play this game.
Calm now, Doctor.
Hello, Mr. Poyo.
Like a rabid dog.
Oh, that took me a long time.
Don't be ridiculous.
How are you?
I'll kill them all. The kind Dr. Swansea. The sweet little lass with hair of red. I am the Harbinger, bringing your punishment.
Mary.
Don't you see? This is not me. Flesh that never ages. All nightmare, no dream. Bring it to a close. Let me sleep.
I will
I'm good.
find a
I'm
cure,
good.
Mary. I swear it.
At last, I can forgive you.
I'm not playing the most happy game, but it's cool.
Blood. As I shed one last red tear for my fallen sister,
I realize the entire world now revolves around this singular word. The epidemic that has stricken London is not the Spanish flu. It is transmitted through the blood, via violent biting, turning survivors into frenzied immortals. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. I am a vampire, born anew into an age of death and pestilence. While plotting factions close in around me, I am sworn to find the source of this epidemic. I am convinced greater perils are still to come. I know the answers I seek are hiding in our blood.
Okay. Okay. Fatigue, fatigue. Mal de tête. Fatigue et trop mal de tête. Oh, parfait.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood, Doctor.
Do you require...
My condition.
Well,
Thank you.
I'll leave you, Miss... Good evening, Doctor.
And good evening to...
Do you need...
I would have...
There is no shame in helping me.
Any doctors I had...
Goodbye, doctors. Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Do you need any...
I'm afraid...
You are not a burden.
And you have my gratitude.
I have to go now.
Doctor.
Good evening, Milton.
Good.
I'd like to see your
Wise Jordan.
Hey, Doc.
I have found the gift from your wife.
In that case, you'll be properly rewarded, Doc. Clay Cox is a man of his word.
I hope that won't make me an accomplice to your future
Yay,
crime.
20
Who
shilling.
knows what I might do now I feel invincible again?
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox.
This place...
Consider...
Don't play...
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Ok. Docteur Swansea.
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
Jonathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion, and with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Why have you never entered the lady's house? You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Jonathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is, nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster. In less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Priwen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings, but they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Jonathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
Thank you, Ed.
Yes, John.
Thank you.
Ok. Docteur Corcoran Tippett. Ok. Où est-ce qu'il est? Ah.
Good evening,
Dr. Reed.
Do you need any...
Yeah. I appreciate...
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Voilà. Ok.
Get them weapons ready! We found one! All of you bloody leeches need killing! Oh! Round the rest,
You must prepare, child, for the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away! Whoever you are!
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion.
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary.
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you, now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence!
I'm tired of all these puppet shows.
Niveau des quêtes secondaires. On Ouais, ça c'est fait, mais... Retrouver les fossoyeurs, prendre des affiches dans le tas... Celle-là je l'ai faite, retrouver la commande, trouver la cause de la mort, rendre compte, oh, ça c'est loin ça. Là au pire je suis dans les docks. Chapelle, les docks. « 397, c'est un peu loin. « 221. 300, ok, c'est super long. « 226. J'ai l'impression qu'en fait les missions c'est plus du Pernbrook en fait. Bon, je peux peut-être faire ça. Je sais pas si c'est dans les égouts ou si c'est... Là, je prends le petit couloir. Ce serait bien si ce serait ici.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Ouais, en effet, t'as fait de la merde.
It's locked.
J'aimerais bien parler à Brannigan avant. Là, il y a Milton. Ah, parfait.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Goodbye.
Merde, il est où le médecin? Ah, il est là.
Good evening.
Dr. Reed.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks. Maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
I will cover for you, Dr. Tippett, by keeping what happened to Mr. Connor to myself.
Puis je pense qu'il a déjà ça sur la conscience. On est en pleine crise, donc autant le garder, quoi.
Then I can make you this promise. As soon as the epidemic is eradicated, I will resign.
What will you do after your resignation? Do you have a plan?
I always fancied visiting Cyprus. Such a beautiful island. I could buy a house there by the sea, read poetry, and wait for death.
Ok.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Alors, ça c'est terminé. Ensuite, retrouver la commande de Taureau. Elle est dans les docks. Et la quête de... Ah bah il y a toujours la quête de elle là. Là ils te disent que c'est en bas, mais lui il te dit que c'est en haut, je comprends pas.
It's locked, all right.
Ah c'est pas dans l'hôpital, ouais, non c'est dehors. On va aller dehors.
I'm sorry you ended up on a plain and cold medical bench. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Apparemment ce serait ici.
Filthy piece of shit!
Activité vampirique. Il y a 3 jours, une de nos nouvelles recrues a entendu une rumeur selon laquelle un vampire femelle se cacherait au Pembroke Hospital. Nous n'avons que son nom. D'accord. Alors, poste de commandement, il est vers Whitechapel. puis remarque, je pourrais faire aussi les missions de Whitechapel. État grave, ah merde. Les choses des Wet Boot Boys au sujet du recrutement des nouveaux boys à Whitechapel. Je pense avoir trouvé un candidat, Albi. Bête comme ses pieds, mais c'est un gros gaillard. Je lui ai demandé de me prouver qu'il pouvait me fournir des médicaments pour le marché noir. Et il me les a livrés vite fait, bien fait. La prochaine fois que je le vois, je lui annonce qu'il est accepté comme membre des Wet Boot Boys, qu'il doit aller voir les chefs pour...
I'm sure Albert would like to know he's been accepted by the Wet Boot Boys.
Ok. Ok. Donc ça, je pourrais aller voir Thelma après. Oui, ici ça craint par contre. Que faire du message? Tenez un Benjamin. À Albert. Un Benjamin. Non, on va le donner à Benjamin. Ah puis tiens, il y a un refuge apparemment pas loin. Alors à Whitechapel, qu'est-ce qu'ils veulent? Fatigue, rhume, pneumonie. Vache. Anémie, néphralgie, fatigue. Alors attends. je vais carrément noter, parce que là il y en a énormément. Whitechapel, donc F, fatigue, il en faut 2, anémie, il en faut 1, fatigue 3, anémie, ça m'en fait 2, rhume R, ça m'en fait 1, néphralgie, ça m'en fait 1, fatigue 4, pneumonie, ça m'en fait 1. Rhume, ça m'en fait 2. Rhume, ça m'en fait 3. Rhume, 4. Ok, donc 4 fatigues, 4 rhumes. J'ai l'impression d'être un vrai médecin. Et il manque encore un gars. Déjà, est-ce que je peux... Ça m'étonnerait. Il me faut encore 2 poignées de qualité. 3 de ça. Alors, fatigue. J'ai dit qu'il m'en fallait 4. Voilà. Ça, c'est quoi? L'anémie, il m'en faut 2, j'en ai 2. Parfait. Sepsis, j'en ai pas besoin. Rhume. Il m'en faut encore 2. Bronchite, pas besoin. Pneumonie, il m'en faut qu'un, j'en ai 1, parfait. Mal de tête, il m'en faut pas. Migraine, il ne m'en faut pas. Néphralgie, il m'en faut 1. Donc 4, 8, 10, 12. 4 fatigues, c'est bon. 4 rhumes, c'est bon. Je vais en faire un de migraine. Et on ne sait jamais. Pneumonie, il m'en faut les 15. Néphralgie, il m'en faut les 15. Ok. Voilà, on est pareil. Et je dois aller par là-bas. Je peux pas passer par là. Ah mais je peux aller droit devant. J'espère. Ouais, c'est bon. On va les éviter, j'ai autre chose à faire. Alors, ils sont par là-bas. Alors, toi, fatigue.
Good evening, Chris.
Chaîne.
Could this be the scarf you lost, Miss Popper?
It is much more than a scarf to me. It is the only thing that connects me to my family and my country. Thank you so much.
Alors, elle, il lui faut un remède pour la fatigue. Je vais en enlever un.
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked.
Forgive my...
How are the conditions?
When I think about all the people who died trying to reach England, it seems we escaped a war just to die on foreign shores, hated by all.
Goodbye.
Ok, ça c'est bon. Ensuite, Joe, anémie. Et alors là, j'ai les deux anémies.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never... What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Right then.
Qu'est-ce que tu vends? Ah, cool. Non, pas de cachette. Comment utiliser? Ah, ça je m'en fous. Tout ça, la rigueur, peut être recyclé en composant. Ouais, non. J'ai assez d'argent.
You never... Do you need...
on it.
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue.
Really?
How are the current conditions in Whitechapel?
When there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you've got to start to worry.
Goodbye for now.
You?
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I'm not easily scared, but crazy killers and armed patrols are lurking about. My son's right about this place.
Can I offer you?
Keep him.
There is a thin line.
All right.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Le gamin, est-ce qu'il a besoin de quelque chose?
Good evening, Harry.
Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Fatigue. Allez hop.
So,
I'm not bo-
do you need any...
Yes, I do.
You'll feel better.
I'm not sure.
Goodbye, young man.
Ah, je vais pas demander.
So,
I'm not bo-
have you any recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I don't believe in miracles, but it seems the epidemic has been kept at bay for a few days.
Goodbye, young.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Good evening.
It's far.
Eh bien, donc j'en ai des trucs à lui demander. Toi, tu vas bien. Okay.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
Don't you hear the trumpets? The apocalypse is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle.
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No. No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime, and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
Why did you...
I said...
You said... Good evening.
He's fuck...
Tell me the reason why you despise Joseph Larrabee so much, Tobias.
A faithless shepherd is the worst criminal, for he leads his flock to the abyss by disregarding the right path. God smote this man, for he doubted.
I only met him briefly, but he seemed a dedicated man who tried to provide guidance.
Do you not believe in punishment, my son? I am not talking about the law of men. I am talking about judgment from heaven.
I believe in the logical and factual organization of everything in the universe. God, if he exists, is just a principle waiting to be discovered.
Armageddon is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle where every soul will be weighed. I'm afraid yours will burn for a long time.
Ok, bon, on a assez entendu de ces conneries. Whitechapel, Clayton, Loretta. Est-ce que le poète, il avait. Benjamin et Albert. Elle, je ne sais pas du tout où est-ce qu'elle est. Camélia, c'est bon. Harry, Barrett. C'était quoi son nom? C'était pas Richard? Bon, on va aller voir. Il me semble que c'était Richard le poète. Oh merde! Bon, moi je me barre. Hein. non, parce que je peux pas. Ah, shit. On ne voit rien du tout. Putain de merde. Chier. Ça c'est chiant par contre que je puisse pas me barrer de ça, ce combat à la con là. J'espère que je vais pas respawn trop loin. Bon, je suis là, ok. Bon alors, je vais trouver un autre passage parce que j'ai pas envie de me retaper tout ça. Alors là, il y a Camélia. Ah bah si, je pouvais passer de l'autre côté. C'est pas bien grave.
Good evening, Mr. And good evening to... How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel?
Alors lui,
I
un
imagine we're all
rhume.
part of some nightmare without beginning nor ending. If only the dreamer could awake.
Do you need it? I'll leave you alone.
Attends, là-bas il y a le journaleux.
Good evening.
How are conditions in Whitechapel at the moment?
I always thought it was my role to reveal what really happens in these forgotten parts of London.
And you're not sure anymore?
Emptied coffins, cannibalism, walking dead. I'm trying to report the truth about what's going on, but no one believes it anymore.
Do you need...
That would be...
If you...
Thank you, sir.
Alors, on va mettre contre la fatigue, il me reste plus qu'un à donner.
Goodbye.
Ok, donc les 4 là, c'est bon, c'est fait. Bon, toi t'es un sac à merde, mais bon.
Mr. Bates.
Evening.
Since I took it... Well... Infecting you...
Alors lui c'était la pneumonie.
Have you
Ok.
heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Not really.
Why am I not convinced?
Maybe it's because you lack faith. Being a skeptic must be useful for a man of science.
A man such as yourself, knee-deep in the muck of Whitechapel, must know more. Speak now.
Yeah, thanks to Nurse Crane's dedication, these foreigners keep coming to Whitechapel, and my lodgings welcome all.
So business is booming.
More than ever. Hope Nurse Crane's dispensary does nothing but flourish. More money in my pocket in the end.
Je sais pas si c'est une bonne chose, mais bon.
How are...
The way this sickness is...
Voilà. Ensuite, il y avait chez le vieux.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Alors lui c'était un rhume.
Yes?
Do you need some... Well... Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost
Ah bon, on l'avait déjà vu ça.
How is Nurse Crane these days?
I don't know what you told her, what kind of deal you made, but Dorothea seems less anxious recently. Thank you for that, Dr. Reed.
How is...
We hold on.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Ok, ensuite par là-bas. Alors elle c'est un rhume.
Good evening.
You look ill. Well,
Thank you.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Il manque plus que un rhume, un fatigue et un névralgique. Qu'est-ce que tu vends? Rien avec la mienne, je peux être recyclé en composants.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Boy.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid not, mister.
You don't seem well.
Oh.
I can try to help your body.
Whoa,
Alors, néphralgie, c'est bon aussi. Hop. Tiens, la lettre.
I have found a very interesting letter. Your son planned to prove his worth to the gang by stealing your medicine.
Oh, I see. So the little bugger thought he could use his dad to build a reputation.
The gang's recruiter was dead when I found him. Perhaps you should take better care of your son.
I love my Albert, sir. Believe me. It's just... well, I'm an arsehole, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for the letter. This is for your trouble.
Ok.
How a condition
By
are
a
you?
gunshot.
Ok.
A gun?
Le fiston, il doit pas être très loin. Ah non, ça c'est des rats. Ah, il est là.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Ok.
Do you need...
Please.
There you go.
Very funny.
Et la fatigue aussi. Alors, il me reste plus qu'un traitement pour le rhume. Je ne sais pas à qui le donner.
Goodbye.
Elle. Alors, je ne sais pas du tout où est-ce qu'elle est. Ah, mais j'ai une quête avec elle. Trouver quelqu'un qui sait lire le braille. Récupérer la boîte de barrettes. Ok, moi je peux faire ça. Par là. Putain, mais c'est quoi ces monstres niveau 24? Bonne direction, ouais. Oula. Oh, une vachette. Je la suis bien la quête, ouais. Récupérer la boîte de Barrett Lewis. Alors où est-ce qu'elle est la boîte de Barrett Lewis? Où est-ce qu'elle est?
This could be the box
Ah,
Lewis
j'avais
thought
pas
he
vu.
lost. There's a letter inside.
Alors attends. J'ai récupéré la boîte, mais c'est où pour lire les documents? Objet de mission peut-être. Non. Non, ça doit pas être ça. Non. Il n'y a aucune bonne manière de dire ce que j'ai à te dire, alors je ne peux pas y aller par 4 chemins. Nous ne pouvons plus continuer ainsi, du moins je ne peux plus continuer. Si jamais Joe apprend ce que nous, sa femme et son meilleur ami avons fait, il sera complètement dévasté. Et ensuite il te tuera. Nous avons passé du bon temps ensemble, mais il faut se rendre à l'évidence. Je ne serai jamais ta Jane Lewis, tu le sais tout comme moi. Je dois donc mettre fin à notre relation. Si tu acceptes ma décision, je suis certaine qu'un jour nous retrouverons un moyen d'être à nouveau heureux. Joe, toi et moi, et ce jour-là, la chose la plus importante dans notre histoire a été préservée. D'ici là, j'espère que tu sauras me pardonner. Oh, il s'est tapé la femme de...
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Oh, tu peux la jouer. Grave drama. Soit tu la donnes à Joe, il lui casse la gueule. Oh bon, on sait à qui la donner. qu'autant je suis un docteur, je suis sympa, je soigne les gens, autant je me foutre la merde.
Joe, please, I don't have your money. Come on. You again?
Tiens, j'ai une petite surprise.
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Ah, letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Oh, c'est tout. Bon, c'est nul.
Goodbye, Mr. B.
Fancy bye.
You never... Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Do you mean you're Harry's father?
No one will ever know for sure. And it's better that way. And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
Goodbye.
Bon, je suis un peu déçu, mais c'est pas grave. Alors, ensuite. Trouver quelqu'un qui sait lire le braille. Putain, c'est loin. Et au pire, elle... Non. Hop. Oh, elle est encore plus loin. Non, je me mélange avec les touches. Alors... Donc là, je suis à peu près la route. Ok, let's go. C'est bien par là. Non, c'est même pas par là.
Don't you know better?
Putain, tu sais lire le braille, toi? Bah tiens, refuge, je vais pouvoir améliorer mes deux armes. Normalement. Alors là, il m'en faudra 6. Ok. Et là aussi. Ah d'accord, j'ai même pas vu.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, doctor, come on in. What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
Ok, alors attends, de toute façon il est aveugle, hein, donc je peux piller chez lui. Même si je pense pas qu'il ait grand chose. Un truc à collectionner.
It's locked, all right.
Lettre de Loretta. Mon cher frère, voici la lettre d'excuse que tu ne liras jamais, puisque tu as perdu la vue par ma faute. C'est un peu con. Je sais que tu me détestes pour ce que je t'ai fait, même si tu ne le dis jamais. On n'en parle pas beaucoup chez les Swanborough, pas vrai? Alors pour soulager ma conscience, voici le geste le plus courageux que je puisse te faire, t'écrire cette lettre et la laisser dans ton laboratoire. Si un jour tu la trouves et que tu me demandes ce dont il s'agit, je te la lirai. Si quelqu'un d'autre la lit, eh bien, comme je l'ai écrit précédemment, ceci est mon geste le plus courageux. Donc Mason, je suis désolé pour ce que j'ai fait et pour l'enfer dans lequel je t'ai plongé. Je suis désolé que tu sois maintenant un aveugle qui cherche désespérément un sens à une vie inutile. Si je pouvais changer une chose, ne serait-ce qu'une chose, dans ma misérable existence, ce serait ce qui est arrivé il y a 1 an de cela. Je te le jure, Mason. Si je pouvais te donner mes yeux, pour que tu puisses voir à nouveau, je le ferais. Mais ça ne marche pas comme ça, n'est-ce pas? Alors je t'en supplie, mon frère, pardonne-moi.
So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. As I already explained to
Il
you,
lui a fait
I'm
boire de l'eau de
inquiring
Javel.
about the epidemic.
Dr. Reed, the eminent surgeon. My God, I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter...
J'avoue, c'est un peu ironique. Remettre contre la cécité, mais ça en braille.
actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness. You have piqued my interest, Dr. Reed.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
Ok. Traitement contre la néphralgie. Merde, j'ai rien pour toi.
How is this? I hear them hissing.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reed. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me. And I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
Why does your sister feel so guilty about what happened to you?
Because she knows I'll never forgive what she did to me.
You run an illegal business with someone you hate?
I don't hate my sister. She looks after me, we have a good time. And I'm just not ready to forgive her.
Ok.
Goodbye. What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
Porter les notes en braille. Ah ouais, mais du coup, j'en ai que 2. Enfin non, j'en ai d'autres.
Good evening, Mr.
Is it wandering in this part of town at night? You're either brave. What can I do?
Goodbye, Mr. Swan.
Ok, bon bah quand j'en trouverai d'autres.
In this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
Alors ensuite, tac tac, je sais pas si je peux passer par là. On va voir. Je peux aller par là.
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Xiao Shun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiao Shun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
Ah, dernier traitement contre le rhume. Tiens.
Thank you.
How?
Voilà.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiao Shun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
You should not be by yourself. Grief can be a terrible trial, and it's even worse when you're alone.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me, even if I don't quite understand why.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
She will rest in this cemetery forever. And I'll spend eternity hoping that she can forgive me.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
But you're not dead. There is a difference between visiting the dead and staying with them.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshu. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.
So many new graves.
Ok. Bon. Non. Alors du coup il me restera juste à trouver des notes en braille. Aller voir Thelma et... Ah merde, j'ai pas fait ça. La carte. C'est où? Ah, c'est dans les docs. Bah, remarque, je peux aller à l'hôpital, aller voir Thelma. Et après, aller là-bas. Ouais, je vais faire ça. Non, à chaque fois je me gourre. Alors, la sortie. Perché, connard.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
Goodbye.
Elle est où? Ah, elle est là.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood, Doctor.
Oui.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
On te croit, Kristen Stewart. On te croit, on te croit.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind. I'll lead.
Oh, j'ai une touche. Ah là là. Ok, elle c'est bon. Tiens, je vais en profiter pour aller dans mon bureau. Néphragie, merde, je peux toujours pas en faire. L'anémie. Ok. Alors j'ai 2000 points d'XP. Ça en vaut 3000 forcément. Autophagie. 2000. La lance. Vous créez 3 petites lances pour essayer de toucher tous les ennemis devant vous. Portez les dégâts de chaque lance sont réduits par rapport à l'original. Je préfère avoir une grosse lance. Ah mais c'est 3000. Bah écoute, on va voir. Alors, autophagie, c'était... Vous échangez le gain de santé instantané pour une régénération plus importante. Vous utilisez plus de sang pour vous soigner instantanément. Allez, ça. Non, ça va mieux tout d'un coup. Bon, il me reste juste lui, névralgie, mais malheureusement, je n'ai rien. Et là, il y a les docs. Les docs, j'irai une prochaine fois. Hop. Alors, je vais juste faire la dernière mission pour Pembroke, ce qui est ça. Et après, on continuera l'histoire principale. Est-ce que toi tu vends ce que je veux?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like
wise.
Oui, il en avait une. Alors. Ok, de toute façon, je dois aller dans les docks.
There's one of them! Watch yourselves!
Ça ne me concerne pas.
Turn around, sir. Steady, boys! We've got one of them! Inhuman! Kill it!
Putain, mais ils sont partout! Alors, ce serait par là.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Ok, bon, on va lui rendre. Alors, Strickland, il doit être par là. Là.
Good evening.
And good evening.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
You can't be serious. You have to stop this before you lose yourself. Lives are at stake here, remember?
I'm a competent doctor and my value has been proven already. Frankly, I'm disappointed to hear you, above all, speaking so ill of me.
Goodbye.
Bref, ça c'est fait.
I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Ah bah, je pense que j'ai tout récupéré. Bon, bah si on peut le faire.
The flower's dying. It needs water. Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
Oui, il me faudrait de l'eau pour la plante, mais j'en ai pas trouvé de l'eau. Apporter le médicament à Taureau. Ou dénoncer Taureau à Ackroyd. Je pense que je vais plutôt le donner à Ackroyd.
I'm quite busy.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Du coup, pardon.
I know that you're a busy man, but I could use your help and advice.
The great Dr. Reed honors me with a request. What is it exactly?
Dr. Strickland devised an experimental drug for the Spanish flu that he asked me to manufacture.
You know what I think of fringe medical experimentation?
That's exactly why I want you to keep the result, Doctor. I made sure it won't harm anyone, but I'd like you to take care of it.
I see. Put it in my cabinet. I'll give you the key. I'll make sure no one uses this medication by mistake.
I'll do that. Thank you for your help, Dr. Ackroyd.
Thank you for your trust on the matter, Dr. Reed.
Thank you.
Ouais, j'ai un peu plus confiance en lui que Strickland. Alors, casier des docteurs, je crois qu'il est là. Ah non, c'est là. Le patient montre des signes de fatigue extrême et présente d'importants plis à la gorge, à la bouche et à la langue. Il sent symptômes grippaux, refuse de parler, prétend que c'est trop douloureux, a besoin de repos et d'un traitement de muqueuse de la gorge avant qu'une décision ne puisse être prise concernant sa sortie de l'hôpital.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right. It's locked. Now that Dr. Ackroyd has been warned, he should make good use of this formula.
Alors, cher docteur Swansea, malgré l'urgence actuelle de la situation sanitaire, je dois vous informer d'une faute grave professionnelle récemment advenue au Pembroke Hospital. L'infirmière Gwyneth Brannigan a eu un comportement non professionnel ayant mis en danger la vie d'un patient. En aucun cas, une infirmière ne peut réaliser un diagnostic et écrire une ordonnance sans au moins informer le médecin responsable de ses conclusions. Vous me connaissez, Edgar, je ne suis pas contre l'initiative personnelle lorsqu'elle est dans l'intérêt de tous, en particulier des situations de crise comme celle que nous vivons. Mais nous ne pouvons pas permettre à une simple infirmière d'établir un diagnostic et de décider du traitement d'un patient. Le fait que le patient ait survécu n'est qu'accessoire. Cela signifie simplement que nous avons évité la catastrophe de justesse. Je vous demande de faire preuve de la plus sévère autorité. Eh oui. C'est un peu une poucave quand même. ce mec. Bon, ça c'est fait. Du coup, je vais te faire parler au Mortimer et au Brannigan s'ils ont des trucs à me dire sur ce que je viens de découvrir. Et après, on ira voir Lady Ashbury.
Good evening, Mr. Your medical report says you're not affected by the Spanish flu. What do you think of that, Mortimer?
Does it make me happy? Not in the slightest. If it was up to me, I would have left this place long ago. I know I don't belong here.
And why do you think you don't belong here?
I know the staff have more important things to do than look after me. There's plenty of patients here who need their attention.
I have...
Hop.
Don't waste your time with me.
Et Gwyneth machin... Non, c'est pas elle. Elle est souvent dehors. Elle est là. Putain, 5000 points d'expérience si je la mange, quoi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
According to the report I read, your unprofessional conduct put a patient in danger.
Ah, la caméra.
That's not true.
Voilà.
I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
Have you heard of Elizabeth Blackwell? She was the first woman listed on the UK medical register. Change is slow, but it will come. And you will always have my support.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
Goodbye, nurse.
Ah, je suis d'accord avec toi, ma grande. Bon, allez, tout ça c'est fait. On va aller voir Lady Ashbury.
Trust the ladies, boys! Killing's all you to share! They want war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
Ok. Je le laisse se démerder.
So this is where she lives. What a splendid house.
Putain, j'avoue. Je comprends mieux pourquoi on l'appelle Lady Ashbury.
Dr. Reed, welcome. How are you?
As good as one can be, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Death and affliction seem prevailing themes of late. Please, come in. We have much to discuss.
I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Not at all. Actually, I was counting on you visiting me tonight.
How strange, this painting. Beautiful, melancholic, yet with a haunting dignity.
Indeed. A long time ago, a friend asked me to paint this for him. But I kept it in the end.
I did not know you were a painter, my lady.
There are many things you do not know about me, young Ekon.
Please, call me Jonathan.
Please excuse my behavior, Jonathan. I tend to tease my friends when uneasy.
What is bothering you, my lady? Your letter was quite alarming.
We will talk about this in a few minutes. For now, I would like you to tell me about yourself. How have you been since we last met, my friend?
My sister Mary. She was made a vampire in the same way I was. She was the one killing all those people everywhere I went.
Vengeance is a powerful force for those betrayed. Made vampire through careless error. Victims by surprise.
I swear I did not intend that. If only I had known then how vampires are created.
That is the scientist speaking. In truth, most of us do not know how it really works. Personally, I make sure my prey will not return to haunt me.
What do you mean?
I am merciless, Jonathan. I only feed on the dying, and I make sure they are dead before leaving their remains.
In the end, she implored me to put an end to her misery. But still, I felt I had taken her life.
N'empêche, la sœur, elle nous a bien fait suer, hein, parce que alors, le combat, j'en ai chié.
Your dear Mary was still alive, I would never have sent you to pray for her soul in that church.
There is no need to apologize, my lady. Your words have been most helpful in these difficult times.
Thank you, my friend. If only we could have guided your poor sister through her terrible nightmare.
I came to the conclusion that my maker, whoever he might be, must be a powerful vampire. Certainly extremely old.
How have you reached this conclusion?
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
I felt this power radiating like an aura every time he appeared.
Most ancestral vampires of England were killed by the Guard of Prewen half a century ago. I wonder who your maker could be.
You have no idea who he could be?
Some of the ancient ones fled England. Some may still be in hiding. All I know is you, my friend, are a pawn in some secret and obscure game of chess.
I think I should ask the questions, your ladyship. After all, it was you who invited me to settle this most urgent of matters.
Fair enough, Jonathan. The situation is critical. We do not have the luxury for etiquette.
Please do not misunderstand me. I would be delighted to discuss mundane matters and idle trivialities.
If we survive the dark nights to come, we shall have all the time in the world to speak, you and I. For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
I must say, your house is exquisite.
J'avoue, j'aime beaucoup sa déco.
One of the advantages of living forever is having the time to be selective with one's furnishings. I took the liberty of having tea served.
You can still drink tea.
Can't keep it down, but I do so enjoy the aroma. Let us toast to make-believe. And of course to your health, Jonathan.
And to yours, my lady.
Elle fait que sniffer.
Call me Elizabeth.
So, my lady, why truly did you invite me here?
I've been asked to deliver an official invitation to meet the Ascalon Club.
Why use you to contact me?
Because they know we are close. The Ascalon Club has many spies. Their main occupation is gathering information and then deciding how to use it.
Have they threatened you in any way?
Not at all. Their message surprised me at first, but it is only logical, considering the critical situation in London.
Why not ask for your help, since you are obviously a powerful and influential immortal yourself?
You have to understand that I am invisible to the eyes of Ascalon, for I am a woman. That suits me well, as long as they leave me alone.
Who are they? Really?
They are the embodiment of vampire law in Britain. Some say they influence the destiny of the Empire. Some believe they merely protect it.
How many are they?
Only a small number of powerful and deceitful immortals. All of them entangled in a sticky web of shadow cabinets, influencing trade.
Will they fight the Guard of Prewen?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
Should I trust them?
Of course not. Do not misunderstand me. They can be very useful, but I believe their long-term goals differ from yours.
Why meet them then?
Because nothing truly important can be achieved in this city without their consent. They could be powerful allies in this current situation.
Should I lie to them?
We all lie, Jonathan. It falls to you to choose your behavior. The most important rule is to show them due respect.
They have done nothing but impede my investigation since I became known to them. Why would they want to see me now?
I guess they now see you as Ascalon material. They must have found out what happened to your sister. Proof of the potent blood flowing through your veins.
I'm not sure I can accept their invitation. I have seen their handiwork. How Fergal the Beast imposed the club's law.
You have no choice, Jonathan. Even I would not openly defy Lord Redgrave, the chairman of the Ascalon Club.
How powerful is his reach?
The Ascalon Club may be the most influential secret society in England. Not all its members are immortals, but they are all very powerful.
They are not all immortals. How is that?
The club is mainly comprised of political figures who seek the safety and expansion of the Empire. The most loyal are awarded immortality.
Any familiar or famous names?
As the richest, most relentless British tycoon, Aloysius Dawson is considered ideal Ascalon material and has been watched for years.
What can you tell me about
Donc Aloysius, là,
Lord Redgrave is the founder and
c'est
chairman
celui
of the
qui
Ascalon Club.
loue le
Most
refuge de
mortals know him as
Chaîne.
the Earl of Bristol. He is rich and extremely influential.
Have you met him?
Only on rare occasions, for he never goes outside the club. And women are not awarded membership, even immortals.
How old is he? How long has he been a vampire?
Lord Redgrave claims to be the progeny of William Marshall, the most valiant knight who ever lived. If that is true, he could be very old.
If you are convinced I must meet him, I will heed your advice.
Thank you, Jonathan. I understand your reluctance to brush shoulders with London's vampire elite, but we have no choice.
Is the situation that critical?
Yes. The Guard of Prewen has called for a second great hunt of our kind, and they will stop at nothing to eliminate us.
What is a great hunt?
The first great hunt was launched about 75 years ago. In just a few nights, the Guard of Prewen located and destroyed most of the old British vampires.
Why start a second one?
Prewen has always seen us immortals as a threat to mankind. My guess is they suspect one or more of us as the cause of the epidemic.
How did you survive the first hunt?
I fled, Jonathan. Like most vampires who survived that slaughter. And I secretly came back when I was sure they had lost my trail.
Will the Guard of Prewen and the Ascalon Club fight each other?
I doubt it. If Prewen really launched a great hunt, I think most of the Ekons I know would flee the country to escape the bloodbath.
I think I saw them kill an Ekon on the way to your house. They seem to have a list with names.
To launch another great hunt, they must have collected intelligence on vampire identities and whereabouts. They are a resourceful lot.
Should we fight back? I will not be hunted down like an animal again.
I admire your courage, Jonathan. But the best way to fight them is to put an end to the epidemic. This is the only way to clear the air.
You should flee then. Leave London, the country even. I have seen the Guard in action. They are merciless.
Your concern warms my heart, Jonathan. But fear not. If the situation gets too dangerous, I shall retreat to my secret Scottish manor. I could hide you in my luggage, if you wish.
Thank you for the offer. I shall keep it in mind, but I have much to do here. There is a question I must ask you. Could Lord Redgrave be my maker?
I doubt it. If Lord Redgrave had made you his progeny, he would not have seemed so surprised when you demonstrated the strength of your lineage.
Will I ever discover the identity of my maker?
Maybe not, Jonathan. We know for sure you were made by a powerful vampire, but most of those fled England long ago.
Please forgive my bluntness, but I have to ask. Was it you? Did you?
On lui a demandé ça.
Oh, Jonathan, I know you shall always have a gnawing doubt about who made you an immortal, but I swear, I had nothing to do with it.
You have no idea at all? You seem to know so many things about the secrets of the vampire underworld.
Even if I had my suspicions, I would not dare give you a name so soon. All I can say is this. I will make inquiries and keep you informed.
What is the plan?
The plan is we both try to save this city, you and I. Go to Ascalon, accept their proposition, and use their influence to promote your agenda.
How can I save London?
The epidemic is the priority. You must find its origin and put an end to it. This is the best way to solve the crisis.
What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation. We need clarity.
One day soon, I will have to find the answer to this mystery.
And I shall help you in your research, I promise. For now, you must go to the Ascalon Club and play their game.
Will I see you again at the Pembroke Hospital?
No, you will find me here if you need me. I shall conduct inquiries alone, and we can then share our discoveries.
Will you not visit Pembroke again?
No. I must remain discreet and avoid attracting attention to Pembroke Hospital for the time being.
But how will you sustain yourself?
I shall not, Jonathan. Fear not. I'm used to it.
When will we meet again?
As soon as you meet Lord Redgrave, I suppose. Fear not, my dear. I shall only be a heart's beat away.
I want to thank you for all your support and your help, my lady.
Could you do me a last great favor and call me Elizabeth?
I should be honored, my lady.
Then it is settled. Finally, some good news in these dark hours.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice. I had best prepare myself to meet this Lord Redgrave now.
How thrilling to meet the Earl of Bristol in the flesh, so to speak.
Something tells me you're not very keen on the man.
Don't get me wrong. The gentlemen of the Ascalon Club are honorable, but their attitude and opinions are somewhat antiquated.
I see.
As long as they deny access to female applicants, I will leave them to their antediluvian considerations as to the natural order of things. Jonathan, promise me you'll be careful.
Of course. But why the fear in your voice?
Look at me, Jonathan.
I am.
I mean, really look at me, young Ekon. We may be deceptive by nature, but this heart of mine has always told the truth.
Elizabeth.
Go, my friend. But come back to me soon.
Oh là 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 là, c'est beau. 1000 fois mieux que Twilight.
So, time to visit the Ascalon Club.
Alors, le club... Ah, je peux encore lui parler apparemment. Ah mais du coup je peux fouiller chez elle et piller chez elle. Vache, c'est énorme. Dracula.
It's locked, all right.
Hello again, Jonathan.
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a few minutes?
Of course, my dear.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least better nights?
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe, you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you, my dear.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Ashbury?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Jonathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
Concerning your investigation.
Yes?
Are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you know if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End?
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Goodbye.
Ah, elle a une fille. Ah. Merde. Bon. Bon, Swansea, il peut attendre. Il y a un truc aussi en bas. Ah oui, c'est Southwark. Southwark. Ah oui, je peux aller tout droit. Merde, je peux pas passer par là. Il y a un autre chemin. Oh putain, faut que je fasse tout le tour. Démerdez-vous, ça me concerne pas.
was the vampire I saw earlier. This war takes no prisoners. The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Putain, niveau 29. Ah, j'avais pas vu. Je vous laisse tranquille. Eh ben non.
Crush the leech, boys!
Ok, c'est bon. Bon, je voulais aller au refuge, mais tant pis.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Women of all countries unite!
Do you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Ascalon Club, I presume.
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reed. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
Oula. Eh ben ça me paraît un bon endroit pour s'arrêter là. Je sais pas, je m'attendais à un truc un peu moins crade avec moins de cadavres qui traînaient. Bon, on verra ce qu'il en retourne la prochaine fois. Du coup, la suite ce sera demain. Je pense que là je vais commencer à 3h, comme ça on va faire une session un peu plus longue. Et puis bah voilà, on a bien avancé aujourd'hui en tout cas. Je vous fais des bisous et je vous dis à la prochaine. Salut!